This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Good evening. Right now at 6, our first significant snow of the season is impacting central Indiana. We show you the impact it's having on the roads right now and what to expect in the morning.
We begin with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory on this Storm Team 6 alert day. Kevin, how long will the snow last and what does it mean for our roads?
It will be over by 11 in most cases. So Halloween was just a little introduction, a little sprinkling here and there. And today it's full-fledged snow falling across central Indiana. Here's some headlines. If we see over an inch of additional accumulation, I think that will be in the eastern half of the state. More on that in a second. Temperatures, they are destined to land in the teens overnight, and our wind chills in spots will be below 0. This is additional snowfall. Again, not much more in the western portion of the state. Eastern Indiana, the closer you get to Ohio, the better chance you have of seeing a little over an inch. So far, what's taken place, it's melting on roadways, but that is part of the changing conditions that I expect this evening, as we'll continue to see then road conditions change and deteriorate as the temperature falls. Current radar, all snow everywhere in the RTV6 viewing area is definitely impacting visibility. Down below a mile in Muncie, Lafayette up to a mile now. At times it's gone down to a quarter of a mile. That makes it a little bit tricky. 30 is the temperature in Indy, 26 in Lafayette, but the other number to watch will be the wind chill, because we will have winds gusting over 20 miles per hour tonight. 7 to 9, you begin to see the focus shift south and east. By 11, starting to move out of the state. Watch these forecasted temperatures roll on down into the mid-teens in the morning, and then the temperatures as far as the wind chill down to as cold as 4 below in Lafayette tomorrow morning. Up and away from then. We'll talk about when we can warm things up coming up.
From the forecast and the maps to the roads, let's take you out in our live drive vehicle. This is 86th Street headed west near the Keystone area there. And as you can see, you need the windshield wipers. And also you can expect some slick conditions with that sheen on the road here at the 6 o'clock hour. Make sure you're giving yourself some extra time and giving some distance between your car and the car in front of you.
And as the temperatures continue to drop, crews will be monitoring and treating the roads. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum is live tonight to find out what they are doing to keep you safe. Megan.
Yeah, well, right now we are on Illinois, right by the I-65 ramp. And as you can see, traffic seems to be moving along just fine at this moment, but the roads are starting to get a bit slick. You can see snow starting to accumulate on grassy areas, sidewalks, and some of the less traveled areas of the roads. We do know that crews are hard at work to keep these drivers safe, though. Right now, the city has 80 plow trucks out, and INDOT has 60 on the roads right now. City crews have been working since 11 o'clock this morning. A spokesperson with the Indianapolis Department of Public Works tells us they get crews out early in the day because they have to monitor the roads and keep an eye on the forecast in order to accurately treat the streets. Once the rain started to switch over to snow, they were able to start putting salt down. They will now work until 11 o'clock tonight, and then a new crew will come in and work overnight and into the morning. They're asking drivers to do their part as well, though, in keeping the roads safe.
So when you're on the road with our plows, we ask that you keep about 3 car lengths between you and the plow driver. Their field of vision is restricted while they're up in that high truck, so we just ask that you drive with caution when you're driving with them.
Now, the city does have a tool that you can use to check the road conditions. It's called the Indy Task Force Snow Task Viewer. It's a website. We'll have a link on our website. It shows you what roads have been treated, what roads are currently being treated, and you can check that out before you head out. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
Thanks, Megan. Stay warm out there. And you really do need to slow down. Road conditions are deteriorating. IMPD reports 44 property damage crashes and 9 personal injury wrecks. Indiana State Police's Indianapolis district has worked 7 crashes. None of them have had any injuries. Road conditions will likely get worse through the night, so please buckle up and slow down. This also happens to be Winter Weather Preparedness Week in Indiana. Storm Team 6 is helping you get ready for whatever the season has in store for us. Tune into our special report, Weathering Winter in Indiana. It features our entire team, Storm Team 6 meteorologists. Watch it tomorrow night at 8 only on RTV6. 2 people are hurt after a shooting that police say allegedly began with an attempted home invasion.
That tops the RTV6 news feed. That shooting happened this morning on South Rudiers Avenue. That's near Washington and South Post Road on the far east side. Police say they were told that at least 2 women were trying to break into a home and that the homeowner fired gunshots through the window at them. Emergency crews took the 2 women to the hospital. They are expected to be okay. Officers believe the 2 shooting victims were involved in a domestic situation with the homeowner.
A 14-year-old New Palestine boy is at Riley Hospital for Children after a pickup truck hit him this morning as he was on his way to school. The Hancock County Sheriff's Department says a Ford F-250 hit Kean Hayes on School Street and US 52 in the middle of New Pal. He suffered head trauma and internal injuries. Investigators say he is expected to survive.
1 person is seriously hurt after a crash involving 4 vehicles, including a semi. This happened around noon at the intersection of Raymond and Harding on the south side. Investigators haven't determined the cause of the crash, but say the person who is hurt is expected to survive.
Democratic presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg says if he is elected as the next president, he'd like to name a woman to lead the Department of Veterans Affairs for the first time. The South Bend mayor told the Associated Press that President Trump has, quote, let veterans down and the needs of female veterans have been neglected for too long. Buttigieg says a woman leading the VA could help spur cultural changes.
Purdue University is trying to solve a potential future pilot shortage. Purdue Polytechnic Institute has introduced a new aviation program intended to get more flight students trained and in the air a year sooner. This program could save students $20,000 to $30,000 in tuition and living expenses. Purdue also has new flight simulator technology to help train future pilots. Some Indianapolis Motor Speedway fans want an old marquee displayed somewhere more visible. They say right now the piece of history is hidden beneath weeds. RTV6's Troy Washington is working for you to find out how it ended up there in the first place and whether it will be preserved.
Change is happening at the Speedway, and fans want to make sure that an iconic piece of history isn't buried even as a new era moves in.
I think that sign is really iconic for a lot of residents of Indianapolis. I mean, it was there for years and years, and they took it down and redid the front gates and everything around there.
Addison Henderson says if he wasn't a huge Speedway fan, he might not have recognized the piece of history hidden amongst overgrown brush and weeds, but still as radiant as ever.
I think a lot of people have memories of that sign. It was the iconic symbol of the Speedway, the wings and wheels. An iconic symbol, a sign that you saw and you knew you were at the Speedway.
Henderson went online to type out his frustration over the discovery. He believes a sign with so much history shouldn't be hidden, but rather placed on display. Perhaps in the Tracks Museum or somewhere acknowledging its past.
They kind of just pushed it into a little storage lot and let weeds grow up around it, and I just want to see it restored and preserved and put on display for the public to see it again.
This Google Maps image shows why fans may not have known where the sign disappeared to. Now that its glory days are over, it's on Speedway property, tucked away from plain view. Henderson says he just wants to make sure the marquee is not forgotten. Working for you in the Speedway area, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Well, we reached out to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and they got back to us. They say the wing and wheel marquee is currently in a secured storage facility. It is an important historical artifact that will be preserved. That's a quote. They say it was created to be kept outdoors. As we celebrate Veterans Day, we need to keep in mind many need jobs.
Tonight, we look into the companies who are hiring our veterans and the opportunities that are available.
So what happened to the Colts? The team dropped a home game against the Miami Dolphins, one of the worst teams in the league. We talked to the players and coaches who shed light on what went wrong.
And of course, we'll unveil the 7-day forecast. I can tell you this, tonight's snow is the only snow in the 7-day outlook. It's beginning to look a lot like the holidays, isn't it? There are the lights out at the Motor Speedway, the grass covered. We'll talk about additional snow and temperatures become the focus next.
Up for only $89 for on time. This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
We're tracking winter weather conditions here at the 6 o'clock hour, getting a live look on North Meridian Street there. As cars and drivers make their way home to where they're going, make sure you're giving yourself extra time there. As you can see, the roads are wet. The snow has been falling. Kevin telling us that we're expecting to keep this kind of snow around until 11 o'clock this evening. The Storm Team 6 forecast is just minutes away here. Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's commitment to exploring the labor market in Indiana, examining workplace trends, and watching the direction companies are moving. This evening, we're zeroing in on veterans on this Veterans Day, the challenges, the perks, and the advantages their military experience brings to the table. Tonight, a look at the transition from active duty to civilian workplace. Deirdre Simons is networking, listening, asking questions, moving from table to table, meeting reps at this job fair from a number of companies aiming to onboard veterans as employees.
The number one reason is to find a job, meet new people, see what's out there, see what you actually qualify for.
Working 12 hours on, 12 hours off on a ship in the Navy as an administrative technician, Deirdre knows how to put in a hard day's work.
We did whatever needed to be done to get the job done.
Now in the civilian world, the Navy vet is navigating the challenges and the potential promises of landing a job.
There's a few other ones I'm not qualified for, but it's great to have that contact, and they have my resume, so if anything does come up, you know, they'll reach out, hopefully. So having the interview skills is definitely something that you have to work on. I think it's down to a science interview skills, so that's probably been my biggest challenge.
Several companies recruiting at the American Legion Military Hiring Fair have employed veterans and recognized the discipline and efficiency they can bring to the civilian workforce.
I know how to probably better translate or better understand some of their items that they have on their resume, and I know how to relate with them, so I know where I could put them where they're most beneficial to both the company and obviously how we could be benefiting to them.
Jason Carando was recently promoted to market manager for Comcast, but he used to build explosives in the Air Force. He values his company's efforts to include those who have served in the armed forces, offering programs geared specifically toward fostering veteran mentorships in the workplace.
Kind of gives us a channel to have those conversations amongst our veterans, and it really builds that camaraderie, and I think that we go to great lengths to care for our veteran employees.
Deirdre has touched base with Comcast, and she's got a couple of other good leads, including a possible position with the American Legion itself, which hosted the job fair. She's hoping one of these opportunities serve as a win-win and a long-term fit.
My biggest challenge is just taking the job and doing it, because that's what I've done in the military, or really waiting out until I find something that I'm so excited about.
Working for you in downtown Indianapolis, Mark Mullins, RTV6. Well, Deirdre told us about a resource which really helped with building her resume and developing her interview skills, and it's geared toward people who have served in the military. It's called Operation Job Ready Veteran. If you are a vet or you know someone who could benefit from this, we provided a link to that organization. Just click on this story at hiringhoosiers.com.
Honoring veterans around central Indiana, today Fisher's Mayor Scott Fadness invited the community to City Hall to pay tribute to the men and women who have devoted their lives to keep us and our freedom safe. During the ceremony, American Legion Post 470 read names of prisoners of war and those missing in action. The Fishers Junior High School Choir performed the Armed Forces Medley and the Song for the Unsung Hero. Also, veterans themselves reflected on what it means to serve their country.
Thank you for your sacrifice, your dedication, and the actions taken to preserve our way of life. Your contributions, both large and small, are appreciated, and today we take the time to honor you.
So to all of those who serve and have served, thank you.
6:15, I knew something was up today when I called my dad and he was at the grocery store.
Look at him getting that milk.
That says a lot. Retired weatherman at the grocery store, that means predict some snow, and we've certainly had that. Not too disruptive, but Hamilton County does have a travel advisory. I do think road conditions will continue to deteriorate as our temperature falls. We've all got the advisory until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. The snow will be over by then. It should be over by midnight, but the cold air will continue to pour in, so that sets the stage for, especially rural areas, any untreated road surfaces to become very slick. Near record lows tomorrow with wind chills well below zero. Let's check in with Kyle Mounts. He's just on North Meridian Street, and last I saw you, you had quite a bit of snow around you.
Yeah, and Kevin, now we're out here making friends literally. I've got my snowman here. He's still a little bit of a work in progress, but this is that good packing snow, heavier, wet snow, and that's what we get when these temperatures are right around the freezing mark. Now, things have changed a little bit since we joined you at 5 o'clock. As we show you around the sidewalks here, you can see those are starting to get snow covered. The main road's still in good shape, but I've also noticed some of those secondary roads getting snow covered as well. So if you haven't treated your sidewalks and your driveways, you want to go ahead and make sure that you do that this evening. Now, the good news, even though temperatures are going to tumble tonight, that salt that you use is still going to be effective. It's effective until you get to below 10 degrees Fahrenheit. And while we'll have wind chills colder than that, the air temperature should stay a little closer to 15. So we don't have to pull out any special things to try and treat those sidewalks as we go through tonight and into tomorrow morning. But the snow continues to fly here in downtown. Still those bigger flakes reducing the visibility, but I'm going to continue to work on my snowman here. We'll send it back to you, Kevin, with a look at Tuesday's forecast.
I will be out to help. That's my goal between 7 and 11 to build a lasting snowman, at least for a little while. Okay, here's all the light snow across central Indiana where you see darker blues, Hamilton County, Boone County, on up into northern Madison and Delaware. We have visibilities below a mile. Any additional accumulation seems to be most likely in the eastern portion of the state as far as seeing an additional inch, much less than that as you go west. 25, that's the current temperature in Lafayette, 30 in Indianapolis. I just want to show you off to the north and west, the wind is strengthening. That will happen here in central Indiana. That will drive the wind chill temperature down. 24-mile-per-hour gust over in Champaign. Our winds generally 10 to 15. The wind chill feels like 12 now in Lafayette, feels like 5 in Champaign, 16 the temperature in Terre Haute. Tumbling temperatures tonight. You see the trend. The snow will come to an end. Skies will begin to clear just before sunrise tomorrow morning, and temperatures will be in the teens. Buses may be a little slower tomorrow morning. Of course, if there are any delays, you can find those with our RTV6 app or right here on Good Morning Indiana, starting at 4:30. 15 going to the bus, coming home only 25. Are you looking for some warmth? We can at least find temperatures above the freezing mark, but not until we get to Thursday. 38, right at 40, Friday and Saturday. It's a dry 7-day, basically. Temperatures as warm as 47 Sunday and Monday.
Okay.
Kyle's little snowman.
Something to look forward to. I know, he's already doing it.
Doing well, right. All right, thanks, Kevin, for that. Let's give you a live look on the roads tonight. This is I-70 and State Road 267 that you see there, and this is on the southwest side of Indianapolis. As we've been telling you, you want to give yourself some extra time because there is a sheen on the roadways. That snow is accumulating. It is sticking to the grassy areas there. So this is our first significant snowfall. We are tracking road conditions, of course, so we'll keep you updated here on anything that we find out there right here on RTV6 or the RTV6 app. Let's get over to Dave first, who's got a look at sports tonight.
Guys, thanks. What seemed like a bizarre NFL vortex of bad play turned perhaps a little more real. Waking up today, yes, that actually happened. The Colts losing to the team whose goal really is to lose, so the Dolphins can't even do that well. We like to call this segment, though, a spotlight. Usually has a positive spin on it. Brad Brown gives it a go in the Sports Extra spotlight.
From the first possession of the game, one had to wonder whether it was just going to be that kind of Sunday for the Colts.
Clearly, I have possession of the ball. Clearly, it's in my hands. 7 of my body parts are on the ground. Then again, I don't know. If it's an interception, it's an interception. We just got to move on from there.
Eric Ebron's not quite touchdown turned interception was just the start of a mistake-filled evening that cost the Colts a game that, going in, looked like an easy win against a 1-7 Dolphins team.
We just let them beat us. We beat ourselves. Oh, man, it happened. Same thing. We lost this game. There's no excuse I can make.
It was late last week when Brian Hoyer got bumped up to the starting quarterback spot. Along with 3 interceptions, Hoyer had several overthrows and was just unable to get any rhythm with the offense.
When you find out on Saturday, you're trying to use that last 24 hours, whatever it might be, to try to, zero in on, what you want it to be. Whether it's difficult, whether it's not, it's just, that's the way it goes, and you try to go and do the best you can with it.
And then there is the glare of another missed extra point from Adam Vinatieri, his 6th of the season, most in the league. Perhaps there's more to it.
We don't talk about injuries one way or another. I'm healthy enough to be out on the field.
We're going to always evaluate. Everybody gets measured. Everyone's held accountable. That from top to bottom, that's always the case. So Nothing meant to read into that. That's just the reality of this business.
The next 3 games are against division opponents, so the Colts will need to clean things up quickly. Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
Yep, ultimately, very important stretch coming up. 2 of those games, though, are at home. Colts get back to practice Wednesday. What a weekend for Purdue. Comeback win over Northwestern today. Former Warren Central star David Bell with his 3rd Big Ten Freshman of the Week award. Bell with a season-high 14 catches, 115 yards in that crucial TD here in the 3rd quarter. 14 catches, by the way, the most by a Purdue freshman since 1997. And then kicker J.D. Dellinger, Big Ten Special Teams Player of the Week. J.D. with this 39-yard game winner. Purdue now 4-6. They're off this week before traveling to 15th-ranked Wisconsin next Saturday. Need to win that game, and then the IU game to have a shot at going to that postseason bowl game. Speaking of IU, their season continues this Saturday. And guess what? They're ranked 24th this week, highest ranking or any ranking in the top 25 in 25 years. And you can see them live here at RTV6 at ABC this Saturday, high noon, against 9th-ranked Penn State, part of a triple-header Saturday afternoon. The News at 6 continues after this.
That's the benefit of Medicare from Anthem.
Welcome back. Here's the RTV6 photo of the day. Look at that beautiful sunset there over that lovely body of water in Speedway.
Ted Hallett took this photo on Friday, and that sky is just breathtaking. Email your photo of the day to us at news@WRTV.com. We probably get a lot of snow pics today.
We will, and it is happening now. Snow flying in Speedway in all of our 92 counties, really. Temperatures, road temperatures at freezing or below. Watch for slick spots developing.
We're back with you at 7 o'clock. World News is next.